Hi, welcome back to the show. Today I'll be diving deep into some important and often overlooked aspects of personal growth. Self-love, boundaries, surrounding yourself with the right people, and how real friendships outweigh material gains. I'll also touch on a topic that often challenges us, standing for a cause even when the world around you seems oblivious to the truth. This episode's going to get personal. I want you to reflect on your own life as I go through each of these points, because at the end of the day, it's all about living authentically, building meaningful connections, and standing firm in your values. I'll also touch on the importance of unity and how our individual actions today affect future generations and the environment. I'll also touch on the value of reading over endless scrolling, where expanding your horizons is essential, and a problem of superficiality that dominates social media. Self-love is the cornerstone of any meaningful growth. I'm not talking about the superficial kind of self-love where we just indulge in occasional self-care routines. I mean the deep, unwavering appreciation for who you are as a person, flaws and all. Self-love is about accepting your worth without depending on validation from others. It's knowing that you are enough just as you are, and you deserve kindness, respect and love, first from yourself and then from others. When you practice self-love, you take care of your mental, emotional and physical well-being. You learn to speak kindly to yourself, you forgive yourself for past mistakes and embrace your imperfections. And most importantly, you stop letting society or anyone else define your value. But here's the thing. Self-love isn't selfish. A lot of people confuse the two. In fact, the more you love and accept yourself, the more you have to offer to the world around you. When you operate from a place of love, your actions, your relationships, and even your dreams, all driven by that positive energy. If you're struggling with self-love, take small steps. Start by practicing gratitude for who you are and where you've come from. Meditate on the good things about yourself and embrace the journey you're on. Remember, this is foundational because without self-love, it's harder to set boundaries, recognize toxic people, or even fight for the things you believe in. Once you've begun practicing self-love, it becomes much easier to set and maintain healthy boundaries. They are critical to protecting your energy and your well-being. They define what is acceptable for you in relationships, in the workplace, and even in your personal time. Think of boundaries as an invisible fence around your emotional and mental health. If you don't have those fences in place, people will unknowingly or sometimes knowingly trample over them. Without boundaries, you end up feeling drained, overcommitted, and even resentful. But setting boundaries can be hard, especially if you're used to being a people pleaser or have grown up in environments where you're taught that putting yourself first is somehow wrong. Here's the truth. Saying no doesn't make you a bad person. It makes you a responsible person. Boundaries are a way to respect your needs and protect your energy. When you set boundaries, you're not only prioritizing yourself, but you're also teaching others how to treat you. Healthy boundaries attract respect. People who truly care about you will honor the limits you set. Those who don't respect your boundaries are the people who may need to be reconsidered in your life. Firstly, surround yourself with like-minded people. The people you surround yourself with have a massive impact on your life. There's a famous quote that says, "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with." This isn't just a catchy phrase. It's the truth about energy and influence. If you want to grow, you need to be around people who push you to be the best version of yourself. That doesn't mean they're constantly cheering you on or being yes men. It means they challenge you, inspire you, and hold you accountable. Like-minded people share your values and your vision. They encourage your dreams and respect your boundaries. And here's the best part. You also get to be that person for them. Friendship is a two-way street, and when you're building meaningful connections, You're just as much a positive force in their life as they are in yours. So take a look at your circle of friends. Are they lifting you up? Are they pushing you in the right direction? Or are they holding you back? These are tough questions, but necessary ones. Surround yourself with those who bring out your highest potential, not those that drain you or keep you stagnant. We live in a world that often glorifies material success. But let's be real. At the end of the day, it's not the things you have that define you, it's the people in your life. True friendship is far more valuable than any material gain. Real friends offer support, love, and connection. They help you through tough times, celebrate your victories, and offer a sense of belonging that no material object ever could. Material things come and go, but meaningful relationships stay with you, often becoming the backbone of your emotional support system. Chasing after material gains at the cost of authentic friendships can leave you feeling empty. We see it all the time, people who allegedly have everything, but still feel deeply unfulfilled. The truth is, success without genuine relationships is shallow. Prioritize your relationships and the quality of your connection over any pursuit of wealth and status. Real friends are priceless. This brings me to a very important point. Standing firm in your values and beliefs, even when the world around you seems blind to the truth. It can be incredibly lonely to stand up for something when most people are either oblivious or indifferent. But if you're fighting for what's right, what's just, and what you believe in, that's all that matters. History is full of people who stood alone in their cause at first, only to be remembered later as heroes or pioneers. When you know in your heart that something is worth fighting for, whether it's social justice, climate change, or even a personal cause, it's essential to stand firm. This doesn't mean it'll be easy. You may lose people along the way, some may criticize you or doubt your intentions, but the truth always stands, even if people don't immediately see it. Having the courage to continue, to persist, even when others are oblivious, is what makes a difference in the long run. So continue to fight for what you believe in. Stand for the cause, because the world needs more people who are willing to stand up for something real. Please remember, self-love is the foundation. Set boundaries to protect your energy. Surround yourself with like-minded people who push you in the right direction. Value friendships over material gains and stand firm in your beliefs. It's because, you see, one of the biggest challenges we face as a society is our impact on the environment. Climate change, pollution, deforestation, and the loss of biodiversity are critical issues that not only affect us, but will have an even greater impact on future generations if we don't act now. This is where unity becomes incredibly important. We often hear about individual responsibility when it comes to environmental action. Reduce your carbon footprint, recycle, use less plastic, and so on. But that's such a middle-class way to approach things. While these are important, we need collective action, and we need it now. The power of unity cannot be overstated. When communities, cities, countries, and governments come together to prioritize the environment, real change can happen. For example, take the Montreal Protocol. In the late 1980s, scientists discovered that the ozone layer was depleting due to harmful chemicals, particularly CFCs, which are chlorofluoride carbons. They were used in aerosols and refrigeration. So governments, businesses, and scientists united to phase them out, and today the ozone layer is recovering. This shows that when humanity unites for a cause, real tangible progress is possible. Now imagine what could happen if we applied the same unity to combating climate change or protecting endangered species. We need to come together, not only for ourselves, but for the generations that will follow us. Future generations deserve clean air, clean water, and an ecosystem that functions healthily. Unity isn't just about large-scale global actions. It's about every community, every family and individual playing a role. It's about educating ourselves, holding corporations and governments accountable, and making sustainable choices in our daily lives. Think about it. What kind of world do we want to leave behind for our children, our grandchildren? It starts with unity, and it starts today. Let's shift our perspective for a moment and talk about how we spend our time. We live in an age of constant distraction, and social media is one of the biggest issues. The endless scroll has become a reflex for many of us. You pick up your phone for a quick check, and the next thing you know, you spend an hour scrolling through Instagram, TikTok, or Twitter. Now, I'm not saying that social media is inherently bad. It has its benefits when used correctly, like staying connected with friends or learning about the world. But too often, it's a source of distraction and superficial engagement. So why am I encouraging reading over scrolling? Firstly, it requires focus and immersion. It trains your brain to think critically, comprehend complex ideas, and absorb information in a way that scrolling through bite-sized content simply doesn't. Studies have shown that reading improves cognitive functions, enhances empathy, and can even reduce stress. Reading a good book, an article, or even a long-form essay offers some depth, something that's increasingly rare in today's culture of instant gratification. Think about the impact this could have if more people took the time to read about the environment, social issues, or even just for self-improvement. When you read, you broaden your horizons, you can gain new perspectives and become more informed about the world. You grow. Social media, on the other hand, tends to feed us what we want to see, reinforcing our existing biases and limiting our worldview. It's easy to get trapped in an echo chamber where you only hear opinions that align with your own, or worse, get sucked in the trap of comparing yourself to others based on carefully curated highlights of their lives. So my challenge to you is, next time you find yourself mindlessly scrolling, just stop, pick up a book, read an article, learn something new, feed your mind with substance, not just with entertainment. We want a generation of critical thinkers and problem solvers. We need to encourage a culture of reading over scrolling. Another point I'd like to highlight is broadening your horizons. We live in an era where social media encourages people to focus on their appearance and how they're perceived by others. It's all about the selfie, the likes, and the validation that comes from external approval. But here's the thing. Superficiality fades with age, and where will all your built identity go if all you have to look back on is how many likes you got? What will you have left? Social media platforms thrive on this type of engagement. They know that people crave validation, and they capitalize on it by keeping users engaged in a never-ending cycle of posting, liking, and scrolling. But it's empty, and it often leads to feelings of inadequacy, especially when you're constantly comparing your life to someone else's highlight reel. What if, instead of focusing on appearances, people invested time in expanding their knowledge, learning new skills, traveling, or engaging in meaningful conversations? What if instead of showing off the latest selfie, we shared the latest book we read, the new hobby we started, or the cause that we're passionate about? This isn't about being anti-social media, it's about using it intentionally. Post things that inspire, that add value to the world, and that reflect who you are beyond your physical appearance. Your worth isn't determined by how you look or how many followers you have. It's determined by your character, your intellect, and your contributions to the world. As we age, these are the qualities that truly last. Beauty fades, trends change, but your wisdom, your kindness, and your integrity are what will matter in the long run. So ask yourself, what are you investing in, your appearance or your substance? It's easy to get so caught up in superficial things in life like money, looks, fame, and likes, but these things are fleeting. We all age, and what's considered popular today will be forgotten tomorrow. So what happens when you've built your entire identity around superficial things? So take a moment to reflect on your values. What do you stand for? What are your passions? What is your contribution to the world? These are the questions that matter, because as we get older, the external things that once defined us begin to fade. What remains is who we are on the inside. Think about the people you admire the most. Chances are they aren't the ones with the most followers or the latest designer clothes. They're the people with wisdom, kindness, and resilience. These are the qualities that don't fade with age. They grow stronger. Let's circle back on the importance of unity. Just as we need to unify to make environmental changes, we need to unite in shifting cultural values away from superficiality and towards substance. The world is facing real challenges, from environmental crisis to social injustices, and these issues won't be solved by focusing on how we look and what we own. They'll be solved by people who are willing to engage, to learn, and to act. We need to encourage a culture of purpose, not perfection, when we come together, whether it's for a cause like preserving the environment or simply to uplift one another through knowledge and shared experiences. We create real, lasting change. We can't afford to be a generation obsessed with appearances while the planet suffers, inequality rises, and real issues go unaddressed. We need people who care more about the world they're leaving behind than how they appear on Instagram. So the takeaway today is love yourself enough to set boundaries, surround yourself with meaningful connections, read and learn instead of just scrolling, and broaden your horizons beyond the superficial. And above all, come together for the greater good. Unity is key, whether we're talking about preserving the environment or creating a culture that values substance over appearance. Thank you. As always, stay true to yourself. Don't be afraid to dig deeper. Think critically and act boldly for things that matter.